Hello, wise owls. Happy full moon. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2024, and we are going to talk about the black moon in Libra. And when we do that, we're also going to talk about the black moon in Aries, the polarity of those. Let's refresh, shall we? When we discover the nature of our natal black moon, we have a face to face encounter with our shadow side. We are naturally averse to acknowledging our shadow side. Invariably, we wince or step back from it because it touches a nerve. Having it called out is a raw, vulnerable experience for many of us because the shadow side is deeply unconscious. Sometimes it takes a little while for the revelations of the black moon to sink in. Each of us has one primary fear that follows us through life and is a motivating factor in our actions and decisions. This fear is deeply rooted within the ancient part of the brain. The root cause of our primary fear is a feeling of separation from our spiritual source or feeling disconnected from something higher than ourselves. The astrology of the black moon identifies our specific primary fear. The shadow side is merely the container for our primary fear. So when we face the shadow, we are really facing our primary fear. This is the real reason we have an aversion to learning about our black moon. But if we put our negative reactions aside, we have an opportunity to understand something about ourselves that can be life-changing. The black moon in each sign identifies certain personal issues that we carry and face on a regular basis. These issues form a large part of our personality and color our behavior, forming our downfall in life. Our primary fears hold us back and prevent us from living our lives to the fullest. The black moon bestows the gift of this information to help us see through our self-sabotaging behavior and make changes that will free us from our self-imposed limitations. As we begin to pull the shadow into the light, we also find that buried within it is the way in which we tend to judge ourselves. The shadow side is a harsh critic. It has the idea that we should be perfect, and it causes us to have intensely negative feelings about ourselves. It sets a high standard that cannot realistically be met. However, when we become cognizant of these unconscious forces, they begin to have less influence over us because we can work through the shadow when we know what it really is. Until we become conscious of the issues that accompany our shadow side and the primary fear that is driving it, we unknowingly project these issues onto others. This is the shadow's knee-jerk reaction when the primary fear is triggered. We voice judgment of others, and when in fact we are actually judging ourselves. Oftentimes, the shortcomings we identify in others are the same shortcomings we ourselves possess but cannot accept. The astrology of the black moon helps us to heal this disconnection by showing us the truth about ourselves. Healing the shadow side begins with understanding the shadow side. First, we must face our primary fear by looking at it head on and integrate the understanding that the root cause of the primary fear is a feeling of being separated. As we look at the black moon in each sign, we will also consider what can be done on a practical basis to heal the chasm between our true nature and our shadow. Black moon in Libra. The shadow of perfection. The primary fear is the fear of loneliness or isolation. The self-judgment is personal flaws are harshly judged. The issues are perfection, unrealistic expectations, and boundary issues. Projection is the criticism of others, particularly the criticism of how things appear. Manifestation. The Black Moon in Libra values impeccability and holds everything and everyone to a high standard, especially oneself. This shadow involves pursuit of the ideal and keenly feels the separation from spirit. The Black Moon in Libra manifests in intensive self-judgment and fragmentation of the self into pieces that are either acceptable or unacceptable. This shadow breaches boundaries and sorts through everything in an attempt to perfect it. It seeks excellence. This results in an unending series of disappointments and can form schisms in relationships. Maintaining any semblance of perfection is exhausting for anyone, but with the Black Moon in Libra, we often find ourselves complaining about being tired or not having enough time. Indecisiveness and self-deprecation are also characteristic of this shadow. Healing. With the Black Moon in Libra, the need to judge must be faced. This shadow is strongly connected to the journey through the judgment of the underworld and subsequent rebirth in a whole new way. It is actually a journey to find what is truly of value. We are able to see that love is truly and the only thing of value. We find inclusion instead of separation. We begin to love all of the parts, not just some of them. When we understand that everything is connected, we see that the fear of separation is an illusion. Healing the shadow of perfection is about seeing our own and others' inner perfection by allowing the ideals of the outer material world to fall away. In order to heal, assess your values. When you find yourself being critical of others, ask yourself if you dislike that same thing in yourself. Examine how you separate yourself from other people. Is there a need to keep some part of you distinct from others? When you find yourself being critical, find something valuable about the situation. You might not feel like certain things about you or others are perfect in appearance, but you may find that they are highly valuable in functionality. By practicing finding value, the shadow that believes in the idea of perfection is healed. So I would say that we could say that our mantra for the Black Moon in Libra is, I am perfectly imperfect. Black Moon in Aries, the theme is the shadow of success. The primary fear is fear of unworthiness. Self-judgment is how well one performs or measures up. The issues are success, identity, questions about inherent value, self-esteem, and merit. Projection comes with others' success and worthiness that is based on what they have attained or accomplished. Manifestation. The Black Moon in Aries manifests in the intense quest to be valued and feel worthy. However, a deep-seated feeling of unworthiness is in conflict with this quest, often causing beneficial opportunities to be passed up. In life, we are only able to receive what we think we deserve, and if we feel undeserving, we will avoid or reject people, jobs, or options that we feel are too good for us. Self-sabotaging behavior often occurs with the Black Moon in Aries. There can also be a need to prove one's worthiness to others, even in the form of subtle bragging. Healing. With the Black Moon in Aries, the belief in inherent unworthiness must be faced. Simply by virtue of being born, we are entitled to and worthy of the joys of life. If all is one, then none are less than others. Each of us carries a spark of the divine, none are excluded. Healing occurs when we are able to see ourselves as successful and worthy because we are a child of the universe. When we recognize this, we understand that all other gauges are external and superficial. By holding ourselves in high regard, we naturally align with our highest and best. Examine where you have settled for less than you wished. Ask yourself, what would you do if somehow, magically, a wand was waved and you were deemed worthy? Strive to connect with this vision. Ask yourself how much the appearance of success plays in your life. Ask yourself what you are always trying to win. When you discover the answer, decide if you really want it. Is it worth the effort? By practicing the awareness that you do not have to be the best in every situation, you will come to a natural state of internal balance. So, wise owls, I have come to learn over my years of working with the black moon. I wrote that book in 2009 and 10, and the introduction I finished on July 4th, 2010. I've come to see how this is the way the archons get inside our heads, manipulate us. And so when we can integrate our shadow side, and this comes throughout life, right? Many of you're aware of your shadow side and you've been working with that, integrating that, understanding that about yourself in your gnosis. We make the same mistakes if we don't capture the power in the shadow side and integrate that back into us. And each time, no matter what sign the black moon is in, it's always about acceptance. The black moon is surrender and acceptance. The black moon begins to transit a planet a month before it makes the exact conjunction with it or opposition with it. And so over that month, we have situations that are pointed out to us where we can make different choices. Okay, so now that the black moon is moving into Libra, okay, this happens on June 29th and 30th. But it's already making conjunction with or opposition with the early degrees of Libra and Aries. Okay, so no matter your black moon might not be in Libra or Aries, but you might have planets in Libra or Aries, and everyone has Eris and Aries. I'm going to link a site where you can go in, type your birthday into the form, and click go basically, and just scroll down to Eris, and then you will see the degree of your own personal Eris. Always remember, round up. No matter what it says, if it says 18 something something, it's 19. It's always rounded up. And then when we come to that degree with the black moon in Libra, and you'll know that this is going to be opposing your Eris. Okay, and it takes 3 degrees. When it gets within 3 degrees, it begins. The month begins, and at the end of the transit, because we fall during that month in different ways, and we face different things, and then we have the light at the end of the tunnel when it makes the exact conjunction or opposition. Okay, because basically the black moon wants to purge anything that has happened to each of us since the last time the black moon was in Libra 9 years ago. 8 years, 10 months, exactly. um, and to some degree, everything from the last 4.5 years. Okay, so we have to recognize that this is a purging. The world will be purging, rebelling, and coming to the light at the end of that. It's always what the black moon brings. It's the fall and then the rise, the phoenix. So we don't have to, what do I want to say? Um, Avoid thinking about the black moon because we've done this. We've done this many times. Each month the moon will contact your black moon. So we face it each month. And I would even say that the longer you work with your own black moon, the easier it becomes. So, and what that really means is we are um, reintegrating the power that's trapped in it based on our avoidance of it. Okay, so we are perfectly imperfect and we are worthy. It's Friday. That means we have dance party. This is a funny song from the Rolling Stones that I leave you with. And I'll see you next time.